Hello and welcome to day 24 of our Healthy Core and Yoga Flow series of 30 days. So I'm so happy that you're here with me, and I hope you have enjoyed all of the classes from the beginning until today, and that you feel rearranged in your body, and that your vibrancy is raising and picking up maybe on some new frequencies by this day 24. I sure am, so thank you for being here for me as well. Let's take a comfortable seat, and today we are going to make our way into Sundial Pose, Surya Yantrasana, which is another hip opening pose where certainly there's shoulders involved as well. So let's have some fun with that. For now, let's sit comfortable on our sit bones and softening all of the outer layers. Sitting nice and tall, letting the outer layers get just nice and calm, and keeping our inner bodies bright and uprising. And just kind of feeling the pulsation from the outer layers into the deeper layers and then back out again. We'll sit with that for a while. And if you have any intention that you'd like to bring in for your practice, it's always nice to either just have it in the mind to begin with, and then if you have a pen and a paper, you can always scribble it down and put it at the front of your mat and pour energy into it with each and every pose. And let's place the palms together in front of the heart for Anjali Mudra, and we'll join our voices in one Om to start our practice. Take a nice big inhale. And release the hands and come to all fours. For day 24, we're still coming up to all fours every day. We are pumping the muscles, we are pumping the energy, the fluids, the digestion, the health of our organs by taking cat-cow for 5 times to start our healthy core section. So here we go. We pull the lower belly in and up and really expand the back body. And inhale, coming back to neutral, and exhale, vacuums up the lower belly all the way in and up. And gently bringing it all the way back down. And exhale, press the hands, the knees, the toes up, and bring up this body up towards the sky. And gently bring it back down, and we'll do it 2 more times, arching the spine all the way up, holding it up here, making some memories for the muscles to really plug in. So it's not just the hands pressing down, it's a whole lot of belly pulling in and up, finding those deep core muscles. And exhale, take a nice big breath, and then we'll do it 1 more time, arching the spine up to the sky. And gently coming back to center and flipping ourselves over onto our backs for our reverse tabletop or dead bug variant. So we're just gonna stay right here and bring the knees up to the horizon and bring the arms up towards the sky. Knees and hips are stacked, and we'll start right there. Let's take the lower belly and pull it all the way in so that the yoga mat and the back body has full contact. Opposite arm, opposite leg. For 10, we're going to do 10 of this version, and then we'll switch it up a little bit. And you can always lift the shoulder blades off the floor for a little bit more plugging in if needed. Maybe not more plugging in, but just like a different version that works for you. And the legs certainly don't go further down than the lower back can stay onto the mat. So it's not just a kind of a flip-flopping the hips, but instead a nice
extension from the core and out, hugging in, plugging in, and then really extending out from the midline. And I feel like we have about 3 left. If that's not the right number, you are welcome to either add on or take away. Last one, and then we'll take it down and bring the knees into the chest just for a moment, and then we'll come back up to tabletop, arms up to the sky. Same arm and same leg is going to go out, and I'm going to just find that side body a little bit more, and we have 10 here. So we're just going to take same arm, same leg. It's also really good for our minds, right? We go from opposite to same, and extend, pull the lower belly all the way in and up. And for the last 5, maybe you'd like to lift your shoulder blades off of the floor. And exhaling and inhaling. And 3 more. And 2 more. Having a good time here. Making some fun shapes with our body. And we'll do 1 more on each side for good measure as we pull the shoulder blades up and really pull that lower belly in, and then gently bring it all the way back down and hug the knees into the chest. Come over onto your left side, pull the knees up into another tabletop shape, or like a little square of the knees. We're going to take the hands behind the hips, so the hips, the femurs are plugged into the hips, and we have a nice angle for the leg to lift up and down. So we'll meet the right leg and the chest up and down. We'll have 20, but I like to divide them up and do 10 lifts and 10 pulses. And exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale, and 4 more, 3 more, and 2 more, and 1 more, and then we hold it up and pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll bring it back down and extend the legs and come up onto your head in your hand, hand in head. Bring your right arm up and over, and then we'll lift and touch the toes and the hand to each other for 10 right here. Inhaling and exhaling and lifting and lowering the leg while the femur is plugged in, and there's a slight anterior tilt of the hips, and we are sticking the sit bones out in the back and have a nice opening feeling for the leg to lift and lower. And we can stay with this, or we can come back down with the head and arm and do lift and lower for 10 more right here. 9 more, 8 more, 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3 and 2 and 1, and take it back down and switch to the second side. Come over onto your right side, and those kind of rotations in the hips will help us later for our sundial pose. So first we'll come all the way down onto the right hip side, stack the knees one on top of the other, hands behind the hips, and we lift and lower the left leg. Exhale and inhale, and meet with the upper body, or simply lift and lower the leg, or simply just do the upper body. See what works for you. 8 more, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 and 2 and 1, and then we'll bring it up and hold it up here and pulse it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we'll take it back down and take the hand in the head in hand, stretch the legs out or keep them bent and use the bent version again. Or maybe do this version where we touch the toes and the leg sideline version. Toes in hand. Exhale, inhale. Get that side body to wake up. Get some nice pulses and feeling and pulsations in the side of the waist. We'll do 5 more. And 4 more. Using the core, the obliques, or just simply flushing the core. And 2, and 1, and then we'll keep it going, and maybe you extend your right arm down and then lift and lower your upper body, and using the side of the waist and waking up the pathway all the way from the shoulder to the hip. We'll do 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. Getting that side body all awakened. And let's come over onto our backs. And from here, take the feet together for Trikonasana or butterfly pose. Hands behind the head. And we lift for 10, pulse for 10. And lift and lower. And exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale, and holding a little bit on the top. And we'll do 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. And we'll lift it up and pulse it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then bring it back down. Excellent. We're going to come into open wide leg angle, our Upavishta Konasana. So I'll come onto our backs with our legs wide open and hands behind the head. And then from there, we'll do the same. We lift and lower, and lift and lower. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then we hold it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down, bring your knees together, and come to a happy baby pose onto your back. And bring your hands outside your feet, arms inside the legs, and give yourself a couple of rolls on the lower back here, on the sacrum area. And just simply having an opportunity to plug in those femurs again and freeing up the lower back, any stagnation, lifting it off. And then gently bring it all the way together, hands under the knees, and we're gonna roll up and start with Trikonasana pose for our yoga section. Bringing in some light to the body by just sitting nice and tall, opening the layers around us and exchanging into new frequencies, new vibrations. Feet together, sit nice and tall, bring your chin to your chest, lift your chest, sternum, pull up on your ankles as you're pressing down on your ankles at the same time. So it's a nice little pulsation going on right there. And then gently extend and take your hands behind, open up into Upavishta Konasana, wide angle. We were here just the other day. You should feel kind of familiar. I know we kind of been in it a few times, but I thought that it felt really good after that session. I hope it
felt really good for your hips as well. So from here, extend your arms out to the side, extend your legs out to the side, and come nice and tall. And we're gonna take that right arm up to the sky, long side body. Just a nice big long side of the waist. You can bend slightly into your elbows and pull the shoulder blades down and take your gaze up towards the thumb. Lengthen into that right side of the waist that we were crunching earlier in our abdominal section. And then slowly come up and over to the second side, right hand down. Bring your shoulder blades down. Take your left arm up to the sky, side body long on the left side. Pull the lower belly all the way in and up. And gently bring it all the way back to the center, and hands behind your knees and bring it all the way in. And from here, we're gonna come over to downward facing dog, please. First down dog. Pedal in towards your ankles, into your knees. Maybe you, like me, have some spontaneous adjustments and openness in towards the ankles and knees. Spread the fingers, claw the fingertips, have all four corners of the palms on the floor. Find that nice opening in the center of the palm and lift the energy up and through. And saturate the shoulder area with some nice, good, even breath, even energy from the palms. Breathing, anchoring. And from here, take your right foot between your hands. Take your left knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up for our quad stretch. This time, take your right hand around your left wrist and pull it towards the side. So it's a nice kind of crescent side body. So we're still just hip and knee and ankle stacked. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. We're just doing a nice hip flexor release stretch. Untitled preparation. And then gently take it back to the center, hands to the floor, step it back and take downward facing dog. And from here, take your left foot between the hands and we'll repeat it on the left side. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Knee and hip on your right side is stacked and knee and ankle is stacked on the left side. Take your right wrist and take a nice gentle crescent stretch over to the side. Pull the tailbone down, lift the lower belly all the way in and up. Stay fully connected. Breathing, releasing, opening, and exhale. Bring it all the way back down. Hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up onto the toes. Bend the knees. Look between the hands. Take a step or a hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. And exhale, fold. Take your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky, press the feet. Inhale, come all the way up and release the hands down to the side. Inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, release, hinge and fold, bend into the knees. Inhale, unravel the spine. Exhale, plank pose. Lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Inner shoulder to outer shoulder. Take it to your favorite version of cobra. Give it a little swing side to side. A little slithering cobra, snake, whichever snake that you like to resemble. We have lots of garden snakes here where I am. And then exhale, release. Bring it all the way back down. Tuck the toes. Come back to down dog. Downward facing dog. Spread the fingers. Sink the heels towards the floor or come up on your toes and bend your knees and see what works with your down dog, where you'd like to work on. Another nice deep breath right here. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, take your step or your hop over to the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet, sweep the arms to the sky. Inhale and exhale, hands to the heart and release, hands all the way down.
We are going to come and take the feet all the way together and do extended hand to foot posture. You might have a chair that you hold on to with the opposite hand. You might lean into the wall or touch the wall if we needed to for balance. Take your hands on your hips and then slightly bend your knees. So your hips and your ankles are stacked and you have like a nice full communication all the way down to the heart of earth, your spot, and then you should feel pretty centered from there. Sometimes we might need to stand on both feet, and that's okay. We can take one knee up, the right knee up towards the chest, and hug it in. And maybe we'll extend the leg by having our hands underneath the hamstring. You might take your peace fingers on around your right big toe and extend it all the way out in front. Press your hand and your foot toe into each other. And from here, extend your right leg out to the side. You can take the gaze over your left shoulder. Press the big toe and your fingers into each other on the right side. And then slowly come back to the center, keeping that nice bend in your standing leg. Switch sides. Take your left hand outside your right foot. Take your right hand to the hip and twist from there. You can look over to the side, you can look forward, you can take the gaze back. See what works for your neck and for your balance. And then gently take your gaze back to the front, hands to the hips. Give a little memory for your leg to be lifted, and then exhale, release, bring it back down. A little surge of transformational energy in that right quad. And then we'll switch to the second side. So grab your chair, switch it around, or hold on to the wall. Take your knee in first. First we just hold the knee in and see how that feels. You can stay right here. You can keep the whole sequence with your knee. You can extend your leg with your hands underneath your hamstrings. Or you can take your peace fingers and grab your left big toe. And come into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, outstretched hand and big toe pose. Feeling some good energy going through the legs, inner edges, outer, and the front as well. And then take your leg out to the side. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Staying nice and anchored into the center line. Kind of just bring all of the abdominal exercises we've done and pull them into that midline and center line. Skin to muscle, muscle to bone. Staying fully connected to the core, and then come back with your foot to the front. And then we'll have the fun twist with your right hand outside your left foot, left hand to the left hip, and twist and turn. Taking the gaze over to the side or over your shoulder. Anything that works for you. One more breath, staying nice and centered, blazing energy through all parts. Take the gaze forward, take your hands to your hips, keep your left leg lifted just for a little bit longer, and then exhale, bring it back down. And that should really have a nice feeling to all parts. Inhale, arms up for full vessel mudra, and just letting the energy rearrange itself from all of that and changing our layers of vibration. Exhale, release, hinge and fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. Excellent. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Step to down dog, please. Downward facing dog. Breathing, softening, melting. Step your right foot between the hands and take Trikonasana with your right foot forward, right hand down, left hand up to the sky. Trikonasana. Right leg first. Use a block if we needed to. Pressing into both feet nice and strong. And then exhale, take the gaze down. Take your left hand over to the outside of your right pinky toe side. Take your right hand onto the floor. Pull the lower belly all the way in. Anchor into the left foot, anchor into the midline, and lift your right leg up to the horizon. And kind of like a fallen triangle variation, or a bit really wide angle preparation pose for Vishwamitrasana. Exhale, release, and bring it back down. Come back to Trikonasana, And take the gaze up. And exhale from here. Hands down, step back, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Give yourself a few breaths right here. Come through a vinyasa if you'd like. Plank pose, lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, release. Bring it all the way back. Push back, down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your left foot between the hands and come into Trikonasana onto your left side. Sweep your right arm up. Pull from all four corners of your feet in through the legs. Lots of stabilizing energy into your pose, into the core, out through the side of the body, up through the arms. The breath is nice and clear. And exhale, release. Take your right hand outside your left foot. Pull the lower belly in, and you might stay here. You might bend both feet. You might have a strap. You might just touch your toes. So anything that works. Do bend forward so that you can kind of get yourself over there. Take your left palm flat on the floor. Lower belly in, nice and strong. Flex your left toes, and from there, maybe lift your left leg up into a 90-degree angle, just kind of like a resembling of where we're heading today for Surya Yantrasana. We take another breath here, building some nice steam and heat, burning layers. Exhale, release. Take it back down and find your Trikonasana. And exhale, release. Hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Pedal about. Find your even layers. Come through a vinyasa or stay in down dog with me, whichever works for you. Anchor into whichever variant that you're choosing. Breathing, softening, and staying super strong through all the layers all at the same time. It's like a constant distribution and exchange of energy. From here, come up on the toes and bring your knees into the center of the mat, or maybe more towards the front, center or front. Take your feet outside and either sit in a block or blanket, mush your calves out to the side and come into hero's pose. Click all of the 10 toes down. Take your palms together, bring your arms up to the sky. Sitting nice and tall. You might be sitting on a block or bolster, blankets. And you can take the hands back down to the heart, back to the knees. You could also come into a reclining version. I like to lift my sit bones. I like to lift my tailbone. Click all the toes. Don't click your tailbone, but press and click your toes down as best as you can onto the mat so that the second toe is pointing up towards the head, and then maybe coming down onto the floor, taking your elbows, getting a full stretch, elongation, opening for the hips, the hip flexors, quads, definitely the knees and the ankles. So take it to where it is for you, where you feel comfortable. Pull the lower belly all the way in. And another breath right here. And then exhale. Take your hands to your feet. Pull your elbows underneath and come back up. Take down dog, please. Get some nice blood through the knees, through the ankles. Come up onto the toes and bend the knees. You can even widen the feet a little bit more and bending the knees and really pressing down into the arms and hands and exchanging the energy in the palms and flushing it back up through. Just by saying it, by thinking it, it's happening. And then we just want to really plug the femurs in and take the sit bones up to the sky. Do a nice anterior tilt of the hips to free up any stagnation in the lower back. One more breath here, and then exhale, release. Take it all the way back down onto the floor and sit and just kind of switch so that you're sitting with your mat wide for your heels if you needed to. You might not need to at all. From here, take your right foot in and your left leg out. We just sit like this and enjoy a nice place to sit for the sit bones. If you need to, please bring in a blanket if you feel like you're leaning, if you don't feel stable on your sit bones. And if it's not comfortable for the back, sit on a blanket. Take your peace fingers around your left big toe. Take your right arm up to the sky, and this might be plenty. We were here a little bit earlier in a version, and you might take your left elbow to the inside of your knee. You might take that right arm up and over. Some of you are going to go and take your hand behind the foot and look underneath, whichever works for you. Just want to get into that side of the waist, whether it is sitting upright or if it's leaning over. We'll take it step by step and day by day, and we can always rinse and then repeat over and over again. Let's switch sides. Sit nice and tall on the sit bones, and just find your anchor, your seat. And then from here, take your peace fingers around your right big toe, anchor it all the way down. Take your left arm up to the sky, and from here, bend your elbow and take your left arm up. Maybe you take that left arm up and over the ear for a long side body as you're staying nice and anchored in towards the seat, in towards the sit bones. Maybe you take your hand behind your pinky to side and extend and press and elongate and melt. Maybe this is plenty, maybe this is plenty. We'll take another few breaths right here. We just get in towards that lower back, middle, and then gently come all the way up to your seat. Nice. Bring your feet together for Baddha Konasana. So we have done feet together, we've done one foot in, we were having our hero's pose earlier. So maybe you feel comfortable putting your right leg back. If that's so, then do that. If not, keep it in like we just had it. Sit nice and tall on the sit bones. Find a strap if you need to, a belt, a scarf. Yeah, that's about all I can extend my thoughts to right now. And if you need an elongation for your arms, take your hands around your foot or use that belt, scarf, or yoga strap. And then from here, take your hands and press your knee so your knee comes behind your, or towards your left shoulder. Nice. And then from here, extend your leg forward. Take the gaze up towards the sky. Here we are in a hero's pose variation. From here, keep your left leg and your left peace fingers and big toe together and extend them out to the side. And here we are, and we can sit right here for our sundial pose and extend it and have a good time right here. And that's a lot. Or we can take it back in and we can switch the hands. Take your right hand outside of your left foot. Take your left hand and support yourself, lift and churn a little bit on the waistline, and give yourself that twist we had earlier, just to kind of really lift the organs in and up. And then take your left knee again behind your shoulder. Take your thumb by your left calf and kind of roll that calf up towards the ear. And then take your left hand to the floor and press your outside of your right hand into your left pinky toe side. And from there, sweeping up into our sundial Surya Yantrasana pose. And we are pushing the foot into the hand, hand into the foot, and at the same time pulling the elbow down towards the shoulder on the right side, taking the gaze underneath that right upper arm and enjoying our Surya Yantrasana, bringing in some more light quota into the body by taking this really fun, different, and pretty deep pose. And then exhale, release. And remember that it could be done by holding the hand around the foot as well. Can be done by one hand outside and starting it that way. Let's come back down and switch sides. Extend your right leg for now, and then take your left leg behind you, or keep it in like we had it, whatever works for your knee. They are sometimes different depending on the things that we do with them. So we'll just
do whatever works for them. So let's take your right leg in, foot flat on the floor. Maybe this is where you end. Maybe you sit with one leg straight. So there's always step, 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 steps. Take your hands around your right foot. Take your foot up to the horizon and then pull your knee back towards your right shoulder. Press your hands and your foot into each other. And then exhale, inhale, extend your foot out. Take your right peace fingers around your right big toe. Take your left hand either to the floor, out to the side, and extend your right leg out. And here is one version of our Sundial Pose. We keep it nice and hugged into the core and extend energy down so we can rise up from there. And then exhale, release, bring it back to the center. Switch hands. Take your left hand outside of your left foot and lift the organs in and up and come back to our twist where we were earlier today. And then gently come back to the center. Take your knee towards your shoulder. Take your right hand and take it underneath your left foot. Take your thumb and kind of hike your calf up towards your shoulder, towards your ear. Moving and grooving. And then take your right hand to the floor and extend your right leg over to the diagonal for your Sundial Pose on your second side. Pull your left shoulder down, hug your elbow in, give yourself a smile, whether you are having your opposite hand or if you have the same hand or if you have one leg bent or both straight. So see what works the best for you. One more breath right here and then exhale, release, bring it back in. Nice. And take your leg back down, and again this can be done right here. Take your leg back down, extend your legs forward and open up to wide angle again, Konasana, Upavishta Konasana, and take a block or a blanket or use your forearms and make sure that we just get to anchor down and release the legs, hips, knees, ankles, toes to come down to your forearms or have your hands on a block and just release the whole spine and let your neck relax. Let your sit bones even out, let your heels even out, let that nice energy exchange from the bottom of the feet just soar and also even out with nice new vibrancies, finding layers in our body that we might have not known were there before this practice. There's always new layers with each yoga practice that is being uncovered and unveiled. One more breath right here. And then gently come back with your hands on the floor, hands underneath the knees. Bring the knees all the way in and let's take one more down dog and pedal out into the back of the legs. Press the palms down, lift the upper arm bones. Anchor into all parts of the body, into the new layers. From here, come up onto your toes, bend your knees, bring your feet together. Child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, bend your elbows to the side. Take your forehead to the floor, the hairline to the floor, elongate the neck. Breathing in the back body. Closing up our practice with a child's pose. And gently take the hands by the shoulders and make your way either onto your back, laying in Shavasana, or coming into a comfortable seated position. So see what works the best for you. And as always, if you don't take your Shavasana now, then please take it after this video has ended. Let's sit nice and tall and close our eyes. Let's turn the palms upward. There was a lot of turning on the hips, a lot of turning for the shoulders, side body. Take Take a few moments to sit together, closing our practice. And gently from here, bringing the palms together in front of the heart. There was a lot of light quota in that Surya Yantrasana pose. We'll bring it into our layers and update all of our layers to a higher vibrancy, to a different frequency that serves us better and helps us communicate with others better and helps us just be the light and spread the light with Surya Yantrasana pose. Let's close our practice with one Om. Take a nice big inhale. And release the hands. Either sit nice and tall for another few minutes or lay down onto your back. And thank you so much for joining me today for day 24 already. Tomorrow on day 25 we have another big leg pose-ish. Vasistasana, it's a side plank with maybe a leg and a big toe and some peace fingers involved again. We'll see how we feel like that tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you tomorrow for Vasistasana variations. Namaste.